Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be showing you how to naturally dye fabric using blueberries. I'm also planning another video later on how to dye with turmeric. So this is the outcome of my blueberry dye the second time I did it, which is the one I am showing you. This is my first attempt at dyeing with blueberries. It actually surprisingly turned the fabric green. It's a very nice sage green. I like it, but it wasn't what I expected. I mentioned to my professor about this, and she explained to me that that's because I let the blueberries, while they're in the water, I let them boil. So if this is the color you're going for, definitely let them boil. Otherwise, if you're looking for more of a purple, pink, blue, you'll just want to let it simmer. So this was my fabric, which I dyed. Here it's more of a purple. I also bought at Walmart just some onesies. I've got a few nephews on the way, so. And then I'm also planning a video to show you how I dyed this with turmeric. First, I dumped a pound of blueberries into my pot of boiling water. I made sure to add a lot of water just because I know the water is going to be evaporating and you want to have enough water for your fabric to sit in and be dyed. And hi, this is Sakura again, coming to join us. So I'll let these blueberries simmer. I like to let them simmer for at least 2 hours. That way the fabric dye is more stronger, more potent. You'll get a darker dye. You want to put that on the stove first and let that just sit, because it's going to take a while. Let that sit for 2 hours. While that's going, you'll want to start another pot with just a bunch of water and then pour a bunch of salt in it. You can let that boil. Then you'll add in your fabric and you'll just let that boil for an hour. And then after that, then you'll just turn it off and let that cool down. After letting that boil for 2 hours, I shut the flame off and I let it cool until it was like 100% cooled off. Then either you can use a strainer, or sometimes it's easier just to put on gloves, and then you want to like manually go in and get the blueberries out. And after you do that, once all the blueberries are out, then you can go ahead and start putting in your fabric. If you don't take out the blueberries, then your fabric dyeing will be real blotchy. You'll have a lot of like dark speckles all over it, which might be a good experimental technique. That's really up to you if you want to explore that. But if you want a nice smooth dye, then I would definitely take the blueberries out. Once you put the fabric in that blueberry dye bath now, it's already been mortared, so it's good to go. You just let it simmer for, again, 1 to 3 hours, depending on how potent, how strong, how dark you want that dye to be. So again, I always tend towards the larger number. You want to make sure you're stirring occasionally using like tongs. So once that's done, you'll turn off the flame again. Then afterwards, you can grab out the fabric, either using the tongs or if you have gloves on your hands and it's fully cooled off. And then you can run it under cold water and just rinse it off really good. And then you can let it hang dry. If your final product, once it's completely hang dried and everything, if it's too light, you can go ahead and put it back into the dye bath of blueberries, and then it'll just darken the color afterwards. The second time, you don't have to do that mordant step with the salt in the water. You don't have to do that. You just put it back into the dye bath and let it sit for some more time, turning up, letting it simmer. When you're rinsing it out, you're going to be crinkling it a lot, just to kind of wring out that water, wring out that dye. Once it's dry, it's going to be really, really wrinkly. You can go ahead and iron it. You'll definitely want to use the steam setting on your iron, that way to get out all of these wrinkles. For instance, this one, I ironed and ironed and ironed, but I don't believe I used the steam setting, and you can still see the tiniest bit of wrinkles in there. And I still need to frame this piece that I did. Let me know if you want to see the making of this stitching. And I'd super appreciate it if you liked and subscribed, maybe even share it with your friends. Thank you everyone for watching.